Hi, I'm Sandra Parker, and I want to talk to you about authenticity, the experience of being who you really are. What is it that people are looking for when they're thinking about personal development, they're thinking about growth? And there are many things, of course, many issues that people want help with. One of them is a very deep and at the same time very simple thing. I want to be more me. I want to be more who I really am. Sometimes people feel like they don't know who they are, or sometimes they feel that they know who they are, but they can't let themselves show that to others. So, what does that mean? It means that right away what comes up for me when I'm talking about this is authenticity. It's about being able to be genuinely who we are in a range of circumstances. And it's being able to experience the flow of who I am inside me and being able to express that in some way in the world that feels congruent, that there's a match between what's going on inside me and what I'm sharing with the world. And again, what comes up for me is how vulnerable that is. Just how vulnerable that is to be really who I am. Because I long for that, I want that, and at the same time, I can't control how the world receives me. If I'm being genuinely me, I so hope that you'll get me, and that you'll value me, that you'll at least respect me. And actually, I can't guarantee that, because that would be up to you. And right away, then there's this dilemma. Do I be me, or do I be what I think you want me to be? Do I be me, or I just keep myself under wraps? Right? What me do I be? And when we're able to tolerate that gap between what I want, which is to be able to just let the flow of me meet the world in a way that feels congruent with who I am, and the gap between that experience, that longing, and the ability to make the world receive me as I would like, that space is vulnerable. That space evokes anxiety. Okay, that space between what I want and what I can make happen actually feels a little bit of discomfort in the body, right? And the ability to feel that and stay with that, drop down into the body, that's what permits me to make the choice to be me. It isn't a cognitive decision. Well, just be yourself. Just go out there and be yourself, right? Great advice. There is so much good advice out there. I cannot find fault with the good advice out there. It just seems to be very difficult to actually implement it, or if I implement it, to sustain it over time, because little inklings of how vulnerable it is to be me are going to come up in my body. And if I can't tolerate what that feels like, I can't stay there. I've got to get out of there somehow. And that's what I want to help people with, is to be able to stay with the feeling of what it is, and in particular to stay with the anxiety of what it feels like, so that we can really emerge the way we're meant to, the way we want to, at a really deep level, at that level where we're being called forth into who we're meant to be, emerging into who we're meant to be. And it's a very tender thing. I'm just having an image in my mind as I'm saying this of a little blade of grass coming up. You know, that yellow tape around that freshly planted lawn. Don't step on the grass, you know. I mean, there's this period of time when we're kind of showing up and it's a little bit tender, right? So we need to be held in that. And ideally in childhood we're held as we're growing up, but maybe we were, maybe we won't. That's a bit of a crapshoot. Later in life, I need to have that capacity to hold myself in that vulnerability and have some little bit of protection around myself as I'm emerging. And that's a way of being with myself that I call to have and to hold, where I love myself, even as I'm feeling like, I don't know how this is going to go, I don't know how I'm going to be received, I don't know if my authentic self is going to be appreciated or seen, right? And yet, the alternative isn't livable. It just isn't enough, right? And we're incredibly brave little beings, being human.